Welcome to the Ovation Show, where we're talking to business owners and executives discussing their business growth, corporate culture, sales, and strategy. We're going to hear about their successes, their challenges, and hopefully we all get some education, inspiration, and maybe a little motivation. So now let's learn, grow, and connect. Today, my guest is Clint Bowers. He is the founder and CEO of Smart Business Concepts, financial consulting and accounting firm here in Dallas. Clint, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So you from here originally?
No, not from Dallas. Originally from a really small West Texas town. Grew up there. Parents still live there. And then went on to A&M. So I'm an Aggie.
You going to the game this weekend?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to. But the past couple of weeks have been fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. You have family?
So all my family is still basically in West Texas, though. Me and I actually met my wife at A&M, and we have two boys here in Dallas. So we live actually in Dallas and have for the last 18 years.
Excellent. Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about the business a little bit. You know, I got to know you by default.
Right.
Our CPA, which I had for many years, I guess retired, sold the business. You took it over. And so I remember that was Bowers CPA. And
yes.
You know, we never had an issue, so we haven't looked back. And now it's been probably close to a decade we've worked together.
Yeah.
But crazy. You started as a CPA, Bowers CPA.
That's right.
But you've changed now Smart Business Concepts, which is, explain what that is and the change.
Yeah. Okay. That's a really good question. So we actually do have two companies. So I kind of explain it this way. We are a financial consulting company made up of CPAs. But because of the rules in Texas of CPAs, we own a CPA firm. So we do all of our tax work through Bowers CPA Group, but we have all of our fun and strategy and go-to-market at Smart Business Concepts because there's just a lot of rules that regulate the CPA business. So
I get it. So let's talk about the CPA stuff's kind of easy to figure out. You do taxes and you do the financial side.
That's right.
But what is different about the Smart Business Concept side?
Yeah. So when I started out 7 years ago, I'm very much into technology and want to help small business owners. And so, doing a lot of compliance work around tax returns and just handing over financial statements just isn't fun to me. And so I wanted to create an opportunity and a team where we can really help small business owners on a day-to-day basis understand where and how to be more profitable or just get to profitability and really partner with them at not just a day-to-day accounting level, because we do take care of all of our clients' books and make sure that their financials are clean, but also on a strategic level to help them understand where they're making money, where they're not making money, to work through cash flow, things like that. That's where we really have the most impact to businesses, and what we really is what we wake up every morning enjoying doing.
Kind of a profitability partner.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely a partner in decision making and making sure that the data that business owners are making decisions on is correct, is accurate, and we're interpreting what it means, what it's telling a business owner, making sure that it's less about emotion, right? So a business owner loves what they do. This next idea must be great. Well, let's take a step, and it might be great, but let's build that up and look at the data and make a decision based on solid foundation.
I love you say look at the data because, in our industry, we're dealing with healthcare and health insurance, which has for so long been a commodity and kind of a status quo thing. And we look at it now and say you have to look at the analytics and the data and the claims. And if you dive into that, you can find the profit leak and the wasteful spending in your health plan. And again, so we tell them you need data to do that.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. So
yeah, that's a very great analogy, I would say, and parallel for our experience. For a very long time, bookkeeping and accounting and taxes was a commodity. And that is still, there's a lot of business owners that still look at it as a necessary evil. But the opportunity, which is what you're kind of talking about in the healthcare space, the opportunity that comes with having a partner helping you dig through the data and the numbers and interpreting them and making better decisions is more impactful to the business rather than just moving paper across the table.
Yeah, I agree. They always say work smarter, not harder.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we try to do.
I like that. I love your website, because one of the things the front page says, helping you run a more efficient and profitable business. But the one thing that stood out to me was driving overall profitability, scalability, and flexibility. You don't hear that. I don't think you really hear that from a CPA typically.
Right. And the last thing you said, we have a lot of fun busting out the norms, busting down the norms, should I say. We are not your typical financial business partner. But business owners want different things, right? So some they're very comfortable in the particular lane. Other ones want to go raise a ton of money, grow, scale. Other ones want a little bit of a lifestyle business, which all of those are fine. And so we don't just focus on, what I would say is, just as a business owner, it's important not just to focus on the numbers, but to focus on the people within the organization. And that's something that we do internally, but we also think it's really important for our clients, our business partners, to keep a pretty heavy focus on their people and the value that they can derive for the business.
Before we go back and go into what you do for your clients, you mentioned you're a business owner.
Yes.
You've got employees. So let's talk a little about, you've had a lot of growth. I mean, since I've known you, because I remember when you had just a few employees. Now I think you're close to 25. Yeah. And I know I saw on LinkedIn you're actually looking to hire somebody now too. Right. So talk about last couple of years, what's caused that growth, and how's that been?
I think it's a couple of things. One is we look different, and it's refreshing to the business owners that we want to work with. They resonate with our style, and our people, and they value what we do because they see the value in understanding their business, and they know, look, they can run a business and do some things really well, but maybe not everything really well. So that was one. But what happened is COVID helped us bust that out faster, because it's, you and I were talking the other day, and I think you said something like, I didn't even realize you guys did all of that. And that is a common comment that we get. But COVID actually helped us throw open the curtain, and because business owners, they realized they really did need a financial partner, and they needed it fast. And we were there. And so they just started asking us, how can we help? How can we do this? And we said, oh yeah, absolutely. And then other business owners, that we were not clients with, were asking the same questions, and we're looking for the same type of support. And so they naturally talk to their friends, and so we continue to get a lot of referrals from our current clients, and then it's continued to grow from there. So COVID was obviously a terrible thing, but for our business, it did help shine a light on what we do.
You talked a lot about having fun and being different, and so in your hiring, you're getting new people in, and so what kind of culture is it then at the office? I mean, again, you talk about having fun and being different. One of our main values is we give a shit. And we're okay saying that. It's even on your website, I think.
It absolutely is on our website. And if we're okay saying that because we do, and our clients need to know that. But we care about our team. Internally, we care about our community, and we certainly care about our clients. And we look at them as partners. When they have bad days, we feel it as well. We don't like to see that, but we are always there to try to help. And so the culture it's fast paced. A lot of things going on. We try to innovate a lot. We try to automate a lot. We do not bill by the hour. We're not keeping time on ourselves by the hour. And so, we're consistently trying to get better and do better for our clients and for our team.
So you mentioned, going back to the growth side of stuff, you said that referrals, but people started calling you asking questions through COVID. What kind of questions were you being asked? What were these business owners asking you?
Oh, that's a great question. Everything under the sun at that point. So it was interesting because essentially what happened and is the legislation that was passed was something that was actually tax legislation. It was actually completely we'd just gone through new tax reform, and then this came through, and it was actually a ton of money that just the government was just pummeling out. And so the questions were always, how can I maximize, having, what is my portion of those monies available? And it was an interesting time because the rules kept changing every other day. So it was a lot of just help me survive, help me, I don't know if this money's going to run out, but just let's get it while we can and let's see what happens. So what's your, I've seen, so I look on your website too, and you see the Smartners, which was cool because I saw our logo up there. Yeah, good.
I didn't even know it was there. I'm like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
But when you talk about your clients, you've got a big, diverse client book, and a lot of them that are on there. What's your ideal client? Is there a size, revenue size, employee size, or? No, it's actually more psychographic than anything else. And it's because, we want to work with people that want to work with us. So it's really business owners that they value their business and they value the support and the things that we can bring to them as partners. We don't look at ourselves as a vendor, but more as a partner. And so that's if we want to, it's 50 million and below from a revenue perspective. We don't have any limit on employees. But if during the kind of what we talk about internally a lot about is as we're going through the process of kind of validating a potential client, we know that this is the dating phase. That's the best it's going to get. So if it's not good before they sign the engagement letter, they're probably not for us. But I will. There's a couple of industries we don't really dabble in, and that is lawyers and restaurants. Those are for folks that really specialize in those. There's a lot of nuances in those particular industries. Just as a side. Okay, and so tell me. I know, and again, I go to your website because I love the front page. It has all these great tags on there, but profitability starts with planning, and we all know you have to plan. That businesses that succeed do it by planning, by working their plan, having a plan of action. So how do you help with that planning? Good question. So I would, I get kind of asked a lot, what's the more common mistake a business owner can make? And I would say not planning. As I was driving up here, I got in my car. I'd never been here before. The first thing I did was get in my GPS and put in the address, and it told me where to go, right? And that's just to get here. That's the point. If you're running a business and you don't have a plan, you don't know where you're going to end up more times than not. And even if you have a revenue target, well, I want to get to this year. Well, you might end up, in Death Valley when you're trying to get to the Grand Canyon. And so when we talk about a plan, to get more specific, that's an operating budget. That is, here is for the next 12 months, based on all the discussions, on all the historicals, on the plans of the business owner, of the cost and inputs that we see in the market and what the next 12 months look like. We will build up from the ground up a custom operating budget
that should inform decision making for the next 12 months. But what we don't want to do is put together an operating budget and then put it in the desk drawer and never really look at it again. That's just an exercise that is, quite frankly, not all that productive. So what is really important is to continue to modify and to continue to talk with the business owner about, well, okay, what just happened? What are you thinking now? When you're looking at the economic environment, especially with the labor market, you got to adjust pretty quickly to the wages that have increased, to just the hybrid work, to, okay, so what type of office are you looking at? So all of these kinds of things that need to get contemplated, as a plan and not at the very last minute, because when it's the last minute, there's not a whole lot, you're really going to be able to do. And so as it relates to, kind of the thing that we always advocate for is, let us work with you to put together an operating budget. And then let's look at this on a cadence that makes sense for your business, whether that's monthly or quarterly, and update it and continue to understand where we're going and navigate that. Just like if I'm using the GPS again, right? So Google Maps, if they see a construction or a wreck 10 miles up the road, they're going to redirect me. That's the similar type thought process.
So it sounds like a lot of the stuff you're doing is the CFO side of things. So do you act as a CFO for groups or companies, or are you interim, or are you consulting with the CFO?
Yeah. In most cases, when we're doing higher level strategy, we essentially are the CFO. So for small business, and I come from larger corporate, but for small businesses, there is most of the time absolutely no reason to have an internal CFO. And in fact, I think the role of the CFO is dying, and it is transforming into a more interpretive and technology focused role, and that's what we can bring at us and other companies as well can bring at a more reasonable cost. And put in disciplines and financial disciplines into the business that are meaningful for whatever that size of business is. So we don't call it. You won't really find CFO on our website. I don't like calling this CFO, but as it relates to what people are used to, you're spot on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to your business, what's been like, we're going to do two things. I want to ask you first, what is a big challenge you have now or have had recently? And how did you overcome it, or how are you trying to do it right now? That'd be the first question.
Okay. So we are an organization made up of people, and we're in Dallas. I would say our largest challenge is continuing to find good people. If you have folks that can do fantastic work, but can't communicate to a business owner, that's a problem. And so finding really good people to join our organization in a growth mode, in a timely manner, and this is a common business problem, right? Is when to hire and the time to hire. We face those every day. One thing we finally had to do was bring in and insource our recruiting efforts. It was something that has proven to be a little bit of an advantage for us because we know our culture. We know the people that we're looking for when we're talking with them. So that's our largest challenge. That's probably the best way I could say we've overcome it. The other way we've overcome it, and I would recommend this for anyone who is hiring, relook at your job description. We took a hard look at that and actually asked our marketing agency to completely redo our job description. So that normally is done in HR. We actually asked our marketing agency to do that because we needed to talk about how we were different and what it would be like to work here and the things that we're looking for. And so they were, they did all of that. I think that was something that we did early on that helped a lot, and we've had feedback that suggests that has helped us.
Well, it shows. I saw the LinkedIn ad for recruiting for an accounting, but it talked about that in, here's all your benefits and here's what we do. But it really is focused on, we give a shit. We're a fun group. We're helping businesses. And so you really resonated with them. Hey, if you're going to come work for us, you're going to have fun. You're going to work. We're going to help businesses, and we're going to care. And you put that culture out there.
Right.
Because I think if you do hire outside of your culture, now you're trying to force them to become something maybe they're not.
That is correct. So before we offer anyone employment, we whoever the hiring team is will we have 4 core values, and we rank that individual on each one of those, and we have minimums for each one. And if someone does not hit that, we won't offer them the position, even if from a technical standpoint they may have been fantastic. We will still take that off the table. And really the reason is because at some point it's going to become an issue. At some point, and getting the hiring right up front is, I would rather spend 6 more weeks than work 9 months to try to get someone out of the organization that it just wasn't the right fit for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, one bad apple can spoil the bunch, and that's a hard thing to get back from when it starts spreading among the rest of the employees, even if you get rid of that person.
That's right, and going through that process, it's just not fun. Yeah, it's just not fun. So we really try to do whatever we can, and I would recommend that for anyone, going through a methodical process.
What are the 4 core values?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Give a shit, drive to get better, entrepreneurial, and want to win.
Oh, I love it. Those are great.
Yeah, those are the 4.
I like that. So all right, so we went through your challenge. What's a big success you've had recently?
I would say getting good people. That is the one thing we focus on, just bar none. That is it, is our people. I think that getting really good people has been a huge win for us over the last 12 to 18 months. But it has not been without its challenge. If I'm trying to look at something that's not people related, I would say it is launching EOS in our business, Entrepreneurial Operating System, into our business. I don't know if you're familiar.
Traction and rocket fuel.
Yeah. We implemented that a little bit over a year ago. The reason being, we were growing and I had a lot of people, and I don't read a lot of stuff, but that kind of stuff. But I was encouraged to read it, and it really resonated with me. And the challenge that I was finding that I would imagine, I know a lot of business owners do, is your support system is limited on a day-to-day basis. And so the concept of running our business with a leadership team, we did not have a leadership team at the time, and running it in a disciplined way, on a weekly basis, on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis, sounded very reassuring to me. And so we started the implementation. We did hire an implementer, and he's been fantastic. And I would say that has enabled us to not completely, crater in different areas of the business. We've slipped up on things that we but what it did is it shined a spotlight on those a lot faster. and the decision making was continued to be more rational and less emotional. And continually, we have said, if we would have stuck with the process earlier, we would have got to that decision a little bit earlier. And so over time, we have continued to remove emotion out of our decision-making process, and really stick to the fundamentals of EOS. And that's really helped us get to a much more stable foundation for growth, for scalability, and things like that, and getting the right people.
Well, I know, yeah, most of the people I know that implemented EOS and, that planning and having rocks and accountability and the whole track system, their businesses grow when you stick to it. So it's fantastic. And that goes back to what you talk about, profitability starts with planning. That is that planning and that organizational, and that's how you get profitability. Yeah. So
well, I could do a whole EOS commercial here probably.
But we'll save it for the next time. Actually, I got a buddy that he's actually an EOS coach too. Okay. So and we'll have him on here sometime soon too. But all right, so Clint, this has been awesome, and this is
perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
So how do prospects and clients, or how do people get hold of you if they want to have some of those questions? They want to bring you those questions we talked about.
Thank you. So there's a phone number at the top of the website. It's smartconcepts.co. There's a phone number at the top of the website. There's a place that you can just put in your information. Our head of sales will call or email you back within a very short amount of time. You can always send me a note via LinkedIn or something like that. But go into the website, and the phone number and email is right there, and we respond really fast. And the process is pretty simple. We just want to understand we want to understand the business and what you're looking for, and we want to make sure it's a good fit for all of us, and then we're off to the races. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll direct everybody to the website, and we've been with you for almost a decade. We're real happy.
Thank you, Dan.
So we'll definitely push
Likewise,
it out there. So appreciate having you in. Thanks everyone for joining us. And here's a couple words from our sponsors. Thanks everyone for tuning in to the Ovation Show. We'd like to give special thanks to our supporters, Craig Shelley Luxury Watches and Fine Jewelry out of Beverly Hills, Success North Dallas, where Bill Wallace has been making connections for over 30 years, and Work Innovators, where they're amplifying the voice of business. And now a special word from our title sponsor.
Employers turn to TBX to provide a modern, seamless, and hassle-free self-enrollment experience for core and voluntary products aimed at educating, not selling to employees. In fact, not only can employers provide a user-friendly, mobile responsive technology solution full of dynamic communications, professional videos, and a data-driven decision support tool, they can do so at no cost to them. That's right, with TBX, there are no setup fees or PEPMs, and there's no need to replace existing technology, as we can easily snap onto any existing HRIS and HCM systems. Plus, the enrollment experience is ready in just 30 to 45 days or less, and data files are properly formatted and delivered to carrier and payroll destinations quickly, securely, and accurately. We look forward to helping you accomplish what others can't: a state-of-the-art technology platform for open enrollment, new hires, and qualified life event processing that's simple to implement and maintain. A partnership that's a perfect fit. That's TBX.
As business leaders, we all know that healthcare is expensive. In fact, it's one of the top 5 expenses in most companies. The decisions you make or don't make in your healthcare plan can have financial repercussions down the road. But not all is lost. There are ways to take charge and get your employees the best possible care, all while reducing overall costs for us as employers and employees too. Get your copy of Life and Death Decisions in the C-Suite, where Dan Labroad and his colleagues pull back the curtain and address how the private healthcare system and health insurance industry have plagued businesses for decades. What you'll discover will empower you to take back control over your health insurance costs that could mean massive savings for your company while giving your employees better quality healthcare. Get your free copy now at the link below or using the QR code provided.